Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. And today we're going to be discussing a really neat topic and an important one in my mind, one that I honestly can't find any videos on of late. I thought I'd seen one, but I can't now. I've mentioned it a few times on this channel in different areas and places. And I honestly think it's so important it needs its own video specifically so it's easily findable. All right. And that is visualization and aphantasia. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering it, my apologies. But aphantasia is the condition where an individual cannot conjure up images in their mind. Okay. Now, because of this, I get a lot of emails, a lot of questions during live streams and private messages on the Gilded community and other places, worried that a person can't practice magic if they can't visualize an image in their mind. Because everyone talks about, you must visualize this, you must visualize this, you must visualize this. And honestly, like I've mentioned in some of our visualizations videos, we're doing a disservice when we're telling people to visualize because of this right here. We give them the concept that if I say, imagine a parrot in my hand, think of a parrot in my hand, that unless their visualization can see that, they can't do magic. Okay, well, if we have the ability to conjure an image in my mind, I say visualize a parrot in my head. You may see it this clear, you may see it transparent, whatnot. In some form or fashion, most people can visualize some form of a parrot sitting on my hand. If you have aphantasia, though, you're fully aware you cannot. This does not stop you from doing magic at all. In fact, it doesn't even complicate it. All right, and that's one of the things we want to talk about in this video. So we know for a fact that aphantasia, research has shown that has trouble producing images in the mind or can't at all. Okay, that's fine. But then in magic, we say visualization, visualization. All right. No, let's throw visualization out and change the word for think of. Okay, think of, got it. So instead of visualize a parrot in my hand, think of a parrot in my hand. All right. Now, this completely changes it because aphantasia isn't like there's something wrong with a person if they have aphantasia. They just process information differently. This doesn't take away your ability to perform magic or have a magical practice in any shape, form, or fashion at all. And to prove this, like researchers have recently, as early as 2020, shown that individuals with aphantasia, though they have trouble conjuring images consciously, that when you hook them up to like sleep studies and they're sleeping, they have perfectly vivid imagery in their dreams. So their brains can still do it. It's how they're processing the information that differs. Okay? Now, with that clear, all we have to do is change the wording and the approach ever so slightly, and boom, we got no issues. So we change it to thinking, which honestly, that's what we're doing in magic. We're thinking. Visualization sounds cool. It sounds better. It sounds flashier, but it's really doing a disservice. And for most people, the term visualization is going to coast you on through. But if we don't know why we're using the term and what we're actually doing, we suddenly run into a problem where somebody's like, I can't visualize. And I've actually seen magicians like, anybody can visualize. No, they can't, dude. They seriously can't. Anyone can think. Not anyone can visualize. Okay? So we're going to change it to thinking. Rant over. Here's what we're going to do. All right. Now, if you have aphantasia, or if you're just a magician who wants to tweak the codex, the terminology just a little bit, instead of saying visualize, say think of. Okay? So let's go to the coffee cup. If I say think of a coffee cup, everyone can think of a coffee cup, unless you're full on brain dead, in which case you're not watching this video. You can think of a coffee cup. Why does that matter? It's like, I know I can think of a coffee cup. Let's say think of an apple, think of a pineapple, think of a steak, think of a horse, think of a car, think of a fat redneck, think of a, see, I can say things. I can even use characters, you know, think of Odin from Marvel, think of Odin from Norse mythology. Think of your grandmother, think of your mother, think of your dad, think of a sibling if you have them, think of your favorite animal. What is it? These thoughts come to our minds. Okay? That thought, that's all you need to do magic. If you go back to my video where we're working on intent and visualization, and I talk about the think, feel, manifest concept, that getting it to visualize and showing the intent and putting it into magic, and why visualization. I talked about it there, where visualization is the wrong word. In that video, I said, we think it, we feel it, we manifest it. That's all you need to do. That is it. Every person feels some way. Well, okay, there might be some, but that's a mental condition. That's something we'd have to approach at a different time. Normal functioning people have some manner of processing emotion. That's all you need to feel it. However, something makes you feel. Doesn't even have to be it feels what the normal person feels. You just have to feel it. You can use any emotion you want to feel. Any. There's no right or wrong emotion for doing magic. That's a bunch of hogswash when people say that. You can use anger. You can use pain to heal. They're just producing energy, and that energy is going to transmit to what you need it. That's it. So we think it, we feel it, and we push it out into the world to manifest. So, in the case of a coffee cup, or let's do prosperity, okay? All right. So in most of my prosperity spells, I tell people to think or imagine themselves having it already. You've already received it. You know what it's like to have that bank account you're after. Okay. Now, most people's going to see this in like cinematic or, you know, snapshot comic sales, or just like one single frame. Maybe they're just looking at the bank account. That's what they're going to see. But just think about it. You don't have to see it. Just think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Because even if you have aphantasia, we know you can think of an apple. Okay? The reason we went through those things, the reason we shotgun those thoughts, if you ever hear a magician say visualize, switch that for thinking it. Just think it. When somebody says a parrot, what pops in your mind? What is the thought in your mind? You don't need to see it. What's the thought? How does your brain process that? That's all you need. Okay? Then with that thought, take that thought to an emotion. What's a parrot mean to you emotionally? How does it make you feel? Okay, well, with the prosperity spell, think of that bank account. Think of that number. Think of having that. And okay, now how does that make you feel? And I actually kind of like taking and doing what's called an emotional transmutation, where first I think about not having it. It's like, I don't got it. I know what it's like to be poor. It's crap. And I want to take that because negative emotions generally do have a lot more power and oomph, because humans generate negative emotions easier than positive in most cases, especially without outside stimuli. So feeling that of being poor can really help. And then you switch that by suddenly switching your thought from, yep, this is where my bank account is, it sucks, and you switch it over to, look at you now. Or think about it now. Think. I got this. This was my goal. I have it. And think how now that feels. Feel the stress melting away. Feel the stress turning into joy and happiness. And you hold that and you push that into your spell. Every breath you're breathing out, if you're doing like a candle spell, every breath you breathe out, you're pushing that joy, that emotion, that positivity, that result that you're thinking about into it. Now, here's the thing. I was like, Drake, you just said we could use negative emotions. I did. Because the emotion is going to generate energy, period. So if your thought is on that positive bank account, I don't care if you're angry. You're angry because you ain't got it. But having it, you know, that anger can still be pushed in there. All you need to do is think about you having it. And then any energy that you can, you push into it. Now, of course, in the case of a ritual, let's say you do the Dragon's Flame ritual, that's going to build up a whole heck of a lot of energy, ain't it? Same thing. You think about your goal, you think about what you're wanting to manifest, and you take that energy and you focus that energy onto the spell working. Technically, it's the same thing. You think it, you feel the energy around you, you push it, and you manifest. You only need to think it. Aphantasia is not a mage killer, okay? In fact, I know several magicians who have aphantasia. They've been diagnosed with it after they've had very, very successful magical careers. And I'm wanting to try and get at least one or two of them on this channel. Hopefully they'll do it. They're somewhat private people. But I was asking them about it. And they was like, well, I know what something looks like in my mind when I think about it. It never crossed their mind that they're not seeing it. And I was like, what do you mean? You said it looks like, but you're not seeing it. And like, you're right. They never see an image. But when they think of an apple, there's no image, there's a thought. There's just the thought of an apple. I was like, okay. And they honestly, this guy actually honestly thought that was normal for everyone. He didn't think there was an actual image. He just thought it was a thought. Just thought, he didn't know there's anything different. So, my apologies. So he actually built a perfectly successful magical practice. And every time they use the word visualize, he was already just doing what I'm telling you. He was just thinking it because he didn't know there was an actual image. He really did not. It's kind of funny because this one missing piece of information in his knowledge bank is actually the thing that let him just slide right on through without being noticed. And the truth is, he found the solution and didn't know it because we don't need to see it. We don't need it. There's nothing special about us people who can see an image or conjure an image. There's nothing special about us. And the reason I say it actually almost makes better magicians is because if you have aphantasia, your brain processes information a little differently. But the moment you understand that and the moment you realize all you have to do is think about it, you're so used to just thinking of an apple, you don't need to see it or anything. So you're like, okay, I got this, and you go. And once the magician with aphantasia does that and they start cutting loose and start making progress, oh, there is no stopping them. However, you take the rest of us blokes who overly work to perfect visualization, okay? If it's not HD, triple X, 100% crystal clear, above and beyond what technology can do, we ain't good enough. We can't move on. We self-paralyze in our search for perfection. Because of this, I have noticed a pattern that the magicians with aphantasia who figure out they just need to think it, not see it, they make progress quicker because it's easier for them to get past that point of self-paralysis because they're not trying to crystal clear an image. Once they figure out step one for them, there is no other transition. It's just think it and go. Well, the rest of us are too caught up on what it looks like. We're too caught up on graphics, if you will, that we miss the boat. So I would actually say all magicians out there need to just stop worrying about how clear the visualizations are and focus more on the thought. They really do. And those of you out there who's worried you can't practice magic because you have been diagnosed with aphantasia or you feel you have aphantasia, I've seen both camps. Don't worry. It's not going to stop you one lick from doing magic. Like I said, think it. Just think it. Somebody says visualize, just think it. You don't have to see squat. Just think it. Just think it. Okay? All right. I hope this helps. I know this is a video that's really been laying on my heart pretty heavy, and I've not been able to find any good things on it. I actually had to dive into some research papers and resources, which I'm glad I did because that's where I found that whole thing about the dreaming. I thought that was a pretty cool find now that they're seeing that with aphantasia, people can dream perfectly vivid dreams. They just have trouble conjuring in the conscious mind, which that's pretty freaking cool to me. But in no shape, form, or fashion, in any way, for any reason, does it stop you from performing magic or even limit your abilities in magic. It does not. And that may be something we explore later. Because one topic that I need to look into and I want to talk to my mage friend about is aphantasia and scrying. Scrying's a very visual divination, ain't it? But he uses scrying. In fact, I'd say he's pretty good. He's every bit as good as me, I think. So he does a really great job. And I'm hoping he'll come on the channel. But if not, I'm at least wanting to sit down and get some notes and a conversation with him so I can share his experiences with you all from that. Because it doesn't even stop you from scrying, because here we have a diagnosed condition of aphantasia. The dude can't visualize a stick figure, but he does scry. So that's taken this whole concept to the next level. And I wanted to mention it, but at the same time, I want to get more information directly from him and talk to him and even perhaps walk through a few scrying sessions with him so that I can, in hope to present and explain what he's doing and how that's functioning better. Okay. All right. I hope this helps you all. I really do. This one was kind of an important one for me. I know there's been a lot of my viewers who's been asking about this. And you guys are absolutely right. This is an important topic. It needs to be talked about. And if y'all want me to talk more about it in a live stream or something, feel free to pop in there, say hello. But if you have aphantasia, that don't stop you from doing magic at all. That don't stop you from working through any of the courses we have over at workingdragonmystic.com, whether it be the Dragon Magic course, the meditation course, the Arcane Sight course. And I do know I'm guilty of it. I use the word visualization just like blah, 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 blah. That's what I've been taught. That's the dialect I've been taught. And I think perhaps a new terminology or a sit down and defining of terminologies might be a good ideal. And that might be a project I'm going to undertake. It's a discussion I've had with other colleagues. I mentioned it in an interview I did a while back. And I think I know a great way to distribute the codex. I really do, because I can do digital book content like on teachables at the school over at workingdragonmystic.com, which would give me full editing of it. And anyone who gets the terminology codex, they would also have access to the edited versions. So I can't make other people do it, but perhaps here at Working Dragon Mystic, if I come up with this is the terminologies we're using them, and this is how we're going to use them, then we can clear up the communication between more people and help more people, just like this. Just like clearing up this concept here of visualization when it comes to aphantasia, this is going to help a lot of people who honestly and truly feel that magic is not something they can do. But pointing out this one thing opens the doors to magic or practices for them perfectly. Just change that word visualize for thinking. Just like that, turn the key, unlock a whole new world, pun not intended, and you guys can have a blast and seek out that self-mastery, that manifestation, just like everyone else. All right. Anyways, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Thank you for joining me for this little rant. And thank you for listening to this important thing that has been laying on my heart for a while. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.